Welcome to the AI Surge podcast, where we will explore how AI is shaping industries and accelerating innovation. I'm your host, Surj Uppal, and today I'd like to welcome everyone to Chuck Rousseau and Hayley Brousseau, the management team of Greenleaf Fuel Inc. Welcome. Looking forward to a great conversation today, guys.
Hey,
Yeah,
thank you.
me too.
Okay, great. So let's start from the top. So for my listeners who aren't that familiar with the great things you guys are up to, please walk us through a quick company overview. Where are you guys located? What services do you provide? That sort of thing.
So we're located at basically all Western Canada. We haul fuel out of Lloyd, Edmonton, Prince George. We wholesale fuel. We deliver the fuel. We have a fleet of trucks. We cater to most industry like construction, forestry, pipeline, oil and gas. Yeah, it's a busy place. We got I don't know, about 50 trucks working on probably 15 locations and growing that network of card locks.
It seems like things are going really well. You're in growth mode. Like I see a new office and cardlock in Sherwood Park. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was a purchase we did in August of this year, and our our one of our biggest locations. So yeah, it's good.
So tell me, maybe Chuck, I'll start with you, and then Haley, I'll ask you after this. But tell me, how did you get started in this field and kind of evolve to where you are now?
I'm originally from Timmins, Ontario. I've been in the fuel industry all my life. So right after college, started driving a fuel truck for the family of one of my friends, and then in 2006, I needed a break, so I found a job in Yellowknife hauling fuel on the ice road. Yeah, so I hauled fuel. Actually, we were talking about it yesterday. I think I was like within 100 kilometers of the actual North Poles. Yeah. So I did that, and at that time I ended up meeting a guy that was just starting a new venture in a fuel company, and decided to join him and move to Alberta. And yeah, I worked for them for about 15 years, and then sold the company to
Company.
what's that, sorry?
Suncor is a big company. Good for you.
Yeah. So then we helped with the transition, and then from a company like the company that we sold, I was the VP of operations there, and so I stayed with the Suncor for 3 years during the transition. And then Rod and Jen Verme are the owners of Greenleaf. Through ERS, we had helped them start Greenleaf. We had sold them fuel and sold them tanks and helped them get started. And so I called Rod and said, "What do you think of me joining Greenleaf?" And he was like, "I've been waiting 15 years for this call." So here we are.
That's a great response. I've been waiting 15 years for this call. Haley, is your background kind of start with Timmins or the North Pole, or tell me about your journey a little bit?
No, I'm actually from Nova Scotia. So I was working out there and I actually came out just for a couple months to Alberta. I was going through some stuff and I came out, and that's when I met Chuck. He hired me for, I think it was a month or 6 weeks, is how long I was supposed to work for him back then, back at ERS, or Max Fuel is what it was called. And I went through the transition with them, and he was a mentor to me. After the 6 weeks, he asked me to stay, and it's been 5 years now, and we've just like became best friends through. We do absolutely everything together. So when he said, I have I have a dream of opening a fuel company, Rod's gonna help me. We're gonna do it in Edmonton. Are you gonna come? And it was obviously a no-brainer. So I'm kind of his backbone to his company. That's what I got myself.
Hey, everybody needs great support, so good for you. And I'm just looking about the level of service and the different type of services Greenleaf supplies is actually quite robust. Between bulk services, tank rentals, transportation, of course, the card lock program. Where did it all start? Was it with the bulk services or the card lock and fuel? What was the first primary?
So um, there was a company in like Jen and Jennifer and Rod are the owners of Greenleaf. They were in logging prior to this, but they live like in Boyle. And their friends, like family friends, owned a company called Durko's Service, which has been around for 60 years, like around that anyway. And yeah, there was an opportunity for Rod and Jen to get out of logging and buy this fuel company. And so, yeah, they've owned it for 11 years now, I believe. So, yeah, that's where it started. And Durko's was obviously a lot smaller, based in grassland, just north of Boyle there. And yeah, so just prior to Haley and I joining Greenleaf, they purchased a company called Black Tiger Fuels that had 6 bulk locations in Cardlocks. So that was like the first step of growing Greenleaf, like
First big
expanding
acquisition.
Greenleaf.
Yeah, so it sounds like that was the first big acquisition, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
And then yeah, from there, after we joined, I mean, like I said, I've been doing this like in Alberta for 17 years now, or 18 years with my experience and my contacts. I mean, we switched to Greenleaf. I was pretty tired at that time, so I kind of like took a little break and hide it out a bit for about 6, 7 months, and then really like got back into it. I think we've probably got, I don't know, 85 to 95% of our old customers back from the ERS days. Slowly, over three, 3 years now, I've like transitioned over back to Greenleaf and following Haley and I, and yeah, and providing that great service that we always have. And just the industry, as big as the petroleum industry is, and oil field, it's pretty small.
Now, tell me about the name Greenleaf. What was the impetus for that? Is that based on the landscape of kind of where you originated, or is there an environmental component, or where does the name Greenleaf stem from?
Yeah, I've asked Rod about that. That's exactly it. He just wanted something that, like, as far as like, we're a fuel company, but we do like care about the environment as well. And that was a big part of the name Greenleaf.
Well, good on you. You know, it seems like Canada is we're global leaders in terms of not only being fuel leaders in fuel and energy, but also doing as much as possible in terms of doing it in an environmentally sustainable way. So that's something you should be proud of. Tell me some other things that you're proud of, like maybe it's um, the way you're giving back to the community, or how you've grown your team, or the team itself. What would you like to talk about?
You know what? I'll talk for him because he is unfortunately extremely humble. And he'll say he did absolutely nothing. Anybody that knows Chuck over the years has seen everything that he's done. A lot of people in this industry, we say it's big, but it's so small. So many of them have come to Chuck for help, have worked for Chuck. Back at our ERS, we had techs that went out to site, and I worked directly with them. And this was very, very much before me and Chuck had known each other really, really well. And he was a mentor to all, I think there was 15 of them. I would say he trained himself. He's been doing this for 25 years. He's obviously, him and Rod are at the top here, and you'll see him. He'll be delivering fuel on the weekends. Like, his customer service is like no other. He will get out of bed at 2 a.m. He'll answer your phone call at 4 a.m. And his customers, his employees, I know that Rod knows that. Everybody that works here knows that. And I think that that shouldn't be taken lightly. He had a hand in building a lot of people's careers, and I don't think he takes enough credit for that at all. Greenleaf itself, we obviously are small. We're based out of Boyle and Grassland. Jen and Rod, Jen specifically, I work with Jen a lot. She is extremely passionate about the community. We do a ton of things in Grassland, Boyle, Athabasca. We just did a huge truck get together parade. I don't know,
Yeah.
convoy. It's called a convoy. Sorry,
That's
I forgot
fun.
what it was called. There's about 40 pickup trucks from the area ourselves. We had a couple hundred people there. We had a barbecue. It was for men's mental health, for Movember. So we're really pushing Movember, and we're always doing something in the community. We're always out there. We started as such, well, I say Rod and Jen started as such a small family business, and that feel is something that's really important to them. So that's why we continue to give back to our small communities, because all of our locations are very remote. So we're always in small little communities. So you get to know the people so well. Do you have
Sounds like we
anything
got a
to
clone Chuck, huh?
What's that?
Sounds like we got a clone Chuck.
Yeah, yeah.
I know, I'm trying.
Wow, that's amazing. I saw a little bit about the other community support. Like you have a specific section on your website about I think giving back to Indigenous and sports teams. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we do a lot of work. We're partnered with a couple indigenous groups. We also do sports. Rod and Jen's kids are huge into sports. We sponsor a lot of sport events. We also give out scholarships every year to the high schools in Athabasca and Boyle to help kids pay for their education for the next generation coming up here. So that's something that's really important as well. Yeah. I think we give out about 6 or 7 scholarships last year we did. Maybe 6, I think there was. I can't remember off the top of my head. Every year we give out scholarships as well. So we do a lot of it.
Yeah, good for you for supporting Movember as well. It's funny, November sometimes just creeps up on me, and all of a sudden it's November 1st. I'm just, going for doing my usual thing, clean shave. Like, oh my God, it's November. And so sometimes if it's too late, I won't bother. But that's why you don't see a mustache on me. But good on you guys for supporting that.
Yeah, I usually have a goatee, but I switch it up for November.
It's funny. I've got two kids. They're 22 and 21, and I see a lot of their kids, a lot of their teammates. I used to coach a soccer team at the gym now, and they're all sporting mustaches because it's cool. It's coming back into style.
Yeah,
But
Yes.
it's good that they're supporting Movember as well. So okay, so we talked about kind of just looking at the number of locations you have. It's a pretty impressive list. Like you guys have grown into an impressive operation between that and all the services you provide. So it sounds like what's your next venture beyond what you're doing now?
it's kind of funny that you bring that up. I just actually just sent an email to. We just designed a new tank, and it's gonna be a link to the Kia, like the SO key to the highway. It's a really, really cool design. We worked really hard on it. We're picking up the first one on Wednesday, so I'm looking forward to seeing that and then putting it all together and hopefully on location in the next couple of months there. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Congratulations.
I've been involved like with ERS. We were kind of like one of a kind. We strictly did remote refueling. So when I joined ERS, it was right out of the gates, and we grew to 200 employees, and I don't know, we did a lot of really, really cool innovation. So one of the reasons for joining Greenleaf was to be able to do that again. So it was like working for a big corporate like Suncor. It's really hard to get things done, and there's so many people that you have to talk to, and it was just too difficult, and I wasn't made to be in a corporate world. They used to call it the Suncor jail. I was in Suncor jail a few times for just, what I thought was the right way to do things and how to do it and how to get it done. They didn't agree with that. That was a big part of me deciding to go back to independent and be able to make decisions with a phone call. You know what I mean? And getting things done. Oil field is, one of the things we say about the oil field is the oil's been in the ground for 10 million years, but we want it out today. So you got to be able to think on your feet and get things done and move quickly and be like nimble. And yeah, so I couldn't see that, you know, at my other position. So that's when I decided to go. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like I been doing it all my life, and I still love it every day.
Seems like you guys are having fun. What do you enjoy most about what you're doing now? And on the flip side, what frustrates you, or what problem would you want to solve?
Yeah, like what I love most is the fast-paced environment. I'm better when I'm better when I'm going 100 miles an hour and I don't know what to do, and I can get things done that way. I struggle when it's like the slow season or things aren't, like things slow down. I get edgy and grumpy when things are going full speed. I'm in the best mood, and that's what I love. As far as like struggles, I don't know. There's always, I don't really want to bring it up, but the government is a big struggle. I think all of Canada could do way better. I'm not into politics. I just feel like if we could run the country like you run a business, we'd be all better for it. I think and I think everybody knows that we do things like environment the best, like as far as the environment. So I think the government should, and the people that I just the people that don't want us to do the exploration and retract, like do the minerals and the oil, I struggle with that. I don't know. I'm trying to put it into words. Like if the government, if Canada was a business right now, it wouldn't exist.
You're right. Not without public funding, that's for sure. And you're bang on, especially us as on the private sector. We have to get results. We have employees to pay, and sometimes let's just get out of our own way and make some money and do it the right way. To your point, we have amazing environmental standards, and we do things the right way, and probably the model for the rest of the world. So let's just make hay while the sun's shining.
Yeah, 100% agreed. Yeah.
Okay, so and it's funny. It's a very it seems like, yeah, from a business perspective, very logical. But when it gets political, everything gets a bit hazy and maybe not logical.
Yeah.
So, in terms of the industry overall, are you seeing any shifts in the industry? What is changing since you first got started?
Have you? As far as like, if you look at oil field, like drilling doesn't change much.
Sure.
They drill oil pretty like obviously the drills themselves get better and faster, and obviously more technology. You can directional drill now and all that stuff. As far as the fuel industry, I mean, it's pretty. It stays the same. There's definitely innovation. There's level monitors and all. Uh, what was I say? Like delivery equipment that makes the job easier and faster. Like you could create different reports for your customers. We're looking at that right now. Previously, I used a system called Smart Truck, which was a really good system, and the customer loves it. It's almost like the same handheld as the you see a guy doing at the grocery store or whatever. The customer would sign that, and the driver would just hit send, and he would get his invoice and tickets right away. And so we're Greenleaf's slowly getting into that. We've like I said, we've been mostly growing now, and now we got to catch up to what we've got. Really, lots of innovative things in the fuel industry.
So, Chuck and Haley, would you say as you kind of grow, and you have been growing, and have you maximized your ability to adopt technology to make things easier for you, or are you still on that journey?
I think we're definitely still on that journey, and I think we will be probably forever. A lot of it is it takes a lot of time to implement any type of new system in anything, whether it be a truck or a computer, teaching people how to do it. So I think it's always going to be something that we're going to have to work on. With that being said, like that goes with keeping customers happy because as technology comes out, you have to kind of be going the next step and going where that's going so the customer stays with you. If there's an easier way to do it, we will, but it's going to take a long time to implement something to change a procedure that's been in place for so long. So we're going to be working on it for years to come, I'm sure.
What would you say? What problem or systems do you think AI or automation can solve for a business like yours?
I had never really thought about it until you guys emailed me, and then I like, I wonder, right? And I talked to Haley about this already. I was like, if AI could see the level monitor, the location of the tank, the usage, and then gather like all the information from all the tanks in that area, and then like create a load, and then send the truck, like I don't know. I guess it's doable. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you had, I don't know, let's say you had 10 tanks within a 50-kilometer radius, and AI would be measuring the levels and the usage, like daily usage, um, knows how much the truck can haul, and then just create a load and send the truck to 3 out of those 10 tanks. And the truck is doing the best, like taking the best route, the shortest route, and it saves us money. It saves the customer money, and the tanks are just kept full. Right? It's only been a couple of days, so
Sure.
I've only been, like I said, I only like really thought of what AI could do for our company for the past couple of days. I am like, and she'll tell you, like I'm really come up with all kinds of ideas.
And that's okay, Chuck and Haley. It's a loaded question, but maybe one thing we like to just start with is What are your bottlenecks? What are your pain points? What keeps you up at night? And is there a way to find solutions just based on maybe not what's going well, but some challenges that you'd like to take off your plate, for example? Is there one thing that if you had a magic wand, and you gave me a good example about finding the most efficient route with maybe 10 tanks in a 50-kilometer radius and knowing how much they can haul. But outside of that, is there other bottlenecks or pain points you'd like to solve?
I'm really hands on. Yeah, I don't feel like anything's too much of a burden, but like I like to do this stuff. So to say that this is a bottleneck, or obviously there's always like trying to find better ways of doing stuff. Like I'm trying to answer your question, what keeps me up at night? I always I find myself waking up to like ideas and then I'm going to do this. And I don't necessarily want to share those ideas.
Sure, of
Some,
course.
some not very good. Some good ideas have come that through that, but yeah, I don't know. I'm a guy that comes up with ideas while I'm sleeping, and then wake up and go, "This is it," and then
Well, and
try
that's
and run
fair.
with that.
Sometimes your best thinking is while you're dreaming or in the shower. You're like, "Oh, I got a great idea." But the implementation or the validation is the challenge, and that's where maybe there's a solution there, potentially already built through AI because there's new solutions being built all the time,
Yeah,
or you take that idea and then have AI generate it. So it's no longer a big audacious task. It's like, hey, how can we take an idea and implement it efficiently through technology? So I totally get it. It makes
yeah.
a ton of sense.
One of my biggest things, I guess, is like, where do I put the trucks in the province so that they're the most efficient and create the most revenue? You know what I mean? Like
Sure. Yeah.
we run a big fleet of trucks, and honestly, I feel like we're not always that efficient, and just knowing that is like you always try and get like the best efficiency out of all your trucks, and because that's the biggest expense. And I think about that a lot, like where should we be to be in the best possible position to create the most revenue and do the best job, so that's definitely one of my things, because we have trucks right now. We have trucks in 15, 20 different locations, right?
Currently, okay, in 15 or 20 locations, and so yeah, that's a very logical thought, right? Is how do I make the most of kind of even geographically because the trucking industry is such a um, distance kind of industry where you want to get to A to B as quickly and efficiently as you can. So yeah, that makes a ton of sense. So maybe let's talk about a little bit about um, your competitors. Who are your main competitors? Would you like to grow your market share, or are you think like could you take on capacity, or are you at capacity and you just want to figure out how to optimize that capacity?
Well, we'll definitely always want to grow market share. I love this part of the business, is growing the business, and yeah, no, we definitely our competitors are like UFA and Suncor, Co-op. There's lots of people that haul fuel, like, and I think our success is our relationships and our service. Like, I was taught like never say no. It's caught me a few times where, holy man, I don't know I'm gonna do it, but I I haven't failed. I haven't failed getting it done too many times. So,
The
yeah,
never
I
say no guys are the most creative. It's amazing. It just figure out a way to get it done.
yeah, always say yes and then figure it out after. And yeah, it's been challenging a few times, that's for sure. And I've had to put myself in the truck to get it done sometimes, but I still, you know, I still get it done. Like, Haley, you're gonna be alone. I gotta go drive the truck. So, and she's like, okay, all right. So
It
yeah.
sounds like I'm just picking up a vibe where you guys have a great team around you and you guys are running like an energetic, really successful operation. But if there was some task that your team members are spending too much time on that you'd want to automate, is there anything you can think of that maybe they're spending too much time on this where they're actually really good at this?
Like I do more of obviously like the opposite side, the paperwork. I think that like administration wise, there's definitely a lot of potential to get more efficient, especially with technology. things being like manually entered, that would be a huge one. Things going back and forth, like that's a huge one. We do a lot with obviously oil field and stuff, so we have to send it out to different people to get approvals and stuff like that. So it's a huge waiting game and things get missed. Anything when you do manually just has the potential to be missed and there be errors and you have to go back on it. So I would say that like the billing systems and things like that, definitely we're working to get more automated and tech friendly, I guess you could say.
Very fair. Yeah, if you can get that system automated and smooth, all of a sudden it makes your life a whole much easier.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I also think like inventory.
Yeah. Inventory is a big one.
Inventory is at locations where we own the product. So at the card locks, obviously, the bulk stations we own the product. So that's our money in the tanks until it's sold. So we do okay, but it's very manual still. Like it's very. I'm trying to think of a word like old fashioned way of doing it. Like yeah, so it's kind of archaic actually. The way we do inventory. So and you know what I mean? It's hundreds
Sure.
of thousands of dollars. Like it's big, big, big money. So uh, we get it done, we balance, but like not knowing for a week that you're out at 10,000 liters. Like 10,000 liters, $10,000 basically, right? So and then trying to find it, like the faster you can find where you've lost your inventory, the better it is, right?
Mhm.
Because the longer you wait, the harder it is to find. So that's a big one for me.
It's like putting your car keys, if you can't find them and it's been a week, you may never find them.
I gotta
Got
find them.
get out and buy a new car.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not unique, Chuck. So and Haley, take some comfort in that. Sometimes when companies are growing and they're on that journey to success, sometimes the top line helps to justify the bottom line and some inefficiency. So it's not just you, but as that gets fine tuned, the top line or the profit just gets stronger. So I think that's a smart approach.
Mhm.
So where do you want, let's say, 6 or 12 months from now? Where would you like to see yourself on the same course, maybe in a new vertical or a new kind of adding another type of business to what you're already doing? But have you thought out what you'd like to see in 2026?
I'm really looking forward to this new tank. I mean, it's we've been working on it, so I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be the first of its kind. I don't no other car lock network is going to have anything like this, so that's what I'm looking forward to in 2026. And then I think just keep innovating and I have this thing I've been working on for years and one day I still want to do it. It's for fueling frac operation. I don't know. It's just been always like sitting there, and I just
Nice. It's the
can't.
year.
I always I want to get it out there. I just never put the money towards it to get it to the finish line yet. So, yeah, it's something I want to do. I'll eventually do it. I don't know if 2026 is the year or not, but yeah, that's definitely something I want to do before I wrap up my career. And obviously, I need to look at it again because things change and it might need some additional some additional tech and updating because it's been a while since I've looked at it. But
So Haley, you had mentioned you pointed out to Chuck that how long have you been working on that tank? And so it sounds like a big deal, but I also want to make sure you can expand on that. So what you're so proud of and looking forward to, so everybody can understand how it's going to impact your business or the industry.
so it'll give you another fuel option in like really remote locations, open 24 hours, Visa, debit, Mastercard. Uh, Available attached to the key to the highway network, which is 170 locations across Canada. These tanks are joining that network where, industry uses, you see the big SO key to the highway everywhere. These are just going to add to that. So I think it's a big impact on, we work in remote areas and it's hard to get fuel sometimes. And we're just trying to bridge that gap.
What type of business does Greenleaf serve? Like if I'm a particular type of business and I want to call you to get some more information, what business is that best suited for? Is it transportation and logistics solely or some?
We do a little bit of everything, definitely transportation, logistics. We're like kind of complete. So we'll go bring the tank to your yard. We'll set it up. We'll do all of that. They do equipment rentals as well. So you can rent heavy equipment from us. He does a little bit of sales like that as well. He'll sell some of his equipment, order it in. You can order tanks, like a little bit of everything, like anything fuel related, we can kind of get done. Anything that has to do with fuel, I would say.
Amazing. So,
Watch us grow. If you need help within the fuel industry, like, we're always willing to help and help solve problems, and anything we can do within the fuel industry. We work with tons and tons of suppliers, and we have tons of contacts. So if somebody is looking for help and needs some questions answered, even like we'll definitely help you.
okay, wonderful. Well, Hayley, Chuck, thank you so much. Everybody, this is the Surge podcast, and I want to thank Hayley and Chuck in particular for giving us a great overview of what they're up to. You can find them at greenleaffuel.com, and then you'll see their locations, community support services. But that's another great example of how a growing Canadian-based company is finding success, but also is looking towards innovation and doing things the right way. I'm your host, Surj Uppal, and I'd like to thank Hayley and Chuck today, and looking forward to our next podcast. But thank you, everybody, for joining, and we'll talk soon. Okay, talk soon.